Recording has started. Hi, this is everybody. This is Dennis Wilson with the from the Active Trend Traders for the Aftermarket Monday. Let's get into this presentation today. Remember that all materials we present are for training purposes only. Paper traders should always paper trade any new method prior to the risk of their own personal capital. Well, what on these after market Mondays, what we're taking a look at is a real quick market review, stocks and ETFs that are potentially setting up, and basically just give you an idea of what I'm looking at so that you can prepare. Now, I do not get, I do not provide the triggers that are reserved for the premium active trend trading members, but I do share, hey, with anybody who wants to listen, here's what I'm looking at, here's the potential run. As I was sharing earlier, I did some analysis of GDX, which is the non-leveraged ETF for gold miners, and was really impressed. I've got data on that going back to 2006, did some real quick analysis on it, and the multiple runs that it has on a yearly basis was really phenomenal. You can't, and it's one of those that you can't gauge it from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. It's what happens within the year that really determines the success of GDX, and then its relationship with, of course, the 3-time leverage index ETF, which is Nugget. So today I want to take a look at TNA, ESNT, CRUS, add to that real quick FAS, and Nugget again. As you can see, we basically closed out our Nugget position today. We were up about 25%, and I missed triggering my trailing stop level by a penny, which would have kicked it in, and I would add a trailing stop of 50 cents, and so I caught that a little bit later on and had to write it down into 18% gain. So 18% gain since the 8th of May. That's fine. UCO jumped up very nicely today, so it's up about 7%. We're just seeing what happens with that one. We're going to see if we can get a little bit of more of a push. Tesla downgraded today. It is, it's still a great stock to be trading in both directions. So let's take a look at the different entities we want to be looking at, which is, let's get started here with, and we'll come back to TNA. SPX, real quick overview. SPX, as you can see, went up, pushed up to the previous highs, and then stopped. So no breakout on SPX today. Will it hold there and then drop down? This kind of looks like it's a real toss-up. If you're trading strategy 3, it would have been a good day to sell the $240 call that expired this week, with the anticipation it's going to pull back down to the 8-day moving average. Negative divergence going on the weekly charts. The momentum is moving, sloping downwards, and just mixed up stuff on the market forecast. Nothing significant there. NDX just keeps on barreling higher. No real, no good indication of when to get in this, and so basically it is extended. It's starting to show some negative divergence. We talked about that previously, which, even though something has negative divergence, it can continue to push higher and higher and higher, but it's doing it with weaker internals, and therefore at some point you will get into a pullback situation. Right now, there's nothing to buy and there's nothing to sell with the NASDAQ. NYA, we haven't looked at NYA in a little bit. I'll just throw it up here quickly. NYSE back into a level of resistance, and with negative divergence, So not a lot to write home about there. We did get a nice little tick up and kick up, but again, right up against resistance. Russell. Russell still is of interest to me. Check what happened out on the Russell. Bounces off the 50. Off the 50 on Friday. A nice little close up. Green candle above red dot. TSI. Positive tick up. It went from a -8 to a -4. And so if you're planning on trading this, that could be a trigger for you. For premium members, be watching out for something to come your way on TNA tonight. Not TAN, TNA. There we go. Similar type situation here with TNA. Got your tick up. Got a little bit of push up here. So we'll be watching this. One of the things that is concerning is it's very clear there's some resistance there. It's about the 54.36 level that is pushing things down. And so that's what we have for that. Take a real quick look at Nugget again. Do we want to buy Nugget on pullbacks? I'm looking for pullbacks on Nugget, pulling back into the 8-day moving average. May or may not get it. Pull back to the 20 today. Hold on, please. And I'm comparing what's going on with this move here with what happened back in March of this year. It ran up to the 50, and then that's where it found its overhead resistance, bantered around a little bit for actually several days, about a 2-week period, and then launched up again from there, actually dropping at below the 50 or below the 20 and the 8, but then got a nice reversal and popped up. I'm anticipating some symmetry perhaps that would emulate this movement that we see over there. What are we looking for? We're looking for, and I'll share this with everybody, we're looking for that latter part of June, July time frame when gold typically gets a bid and runs up. Here's what happened last year in the June, July time frame. TSI, Nugget had come down into this area. This is in the June, July area. And then from there, it went on just one heck of a nice rally through the end of the year. Or not through the end of the year, through just up through first part of August into September. And as you can see, that run right there, that's about 147%. So that's one of the things that I found very interesting about utilizing the GDX, which is the non-leveraged miners, and then Nugget. The potential for awesome, for excellent gain, potential for excellent gains on a yearly basis is really quite high. And as long as you're a premium member, you're going to get the timing on those for when those trigger off. And hopefully you've been able to participate in, the trade we did a couple of weeks ago in Nugget, where we picked it up down here and away she went. And so now we're waiting to reestablish the position. We took out the profits, a 10 and an 18% profit, nothing to sneeze about. FAS, there we go. Again, FAS. This too is given a really nice indication of a potential trend reversal, higher low, and we're bouncing up. So, where to from there? And so that, again, watch this one. You may get a nice alert on this one this evening also. CRUS just started to take off again. Earnings is out of the way. And the thing I like about this particular stock is, let's just try, it's got a nice little, well, darn it. It's got a real nice rising triangle going on here. And with rising triangles, if you basically take this measurement from here to here, which in this case is about say almost $5, $4.50. If it breaks out the top here, it's probably going to run for another $4.50, if not more. But that's one of the springs to the upside, and it just looks like it's ready to run. Volume's looking good, and so again, this may be one that you see again in the near future. ESNT. I like this one, but it's a lot more sloppy, folks, and so I'm not going to call anything on this one. It's just I want to see it clean up its act a little bit and become less junky and less wide and loose and all that kind of stuff. I want to see it tighten up a little bit, and it may in fact get a bit into the end of the year. Well, we'll be keeping our eye on that. So let's see, TNA, talked about ESNT, we talked about Cruise, we talked about FAS, we talked about Nugget, we talked about. And so with that, those of you who are in UCO, I'll just leave UCO. UCO has got a nice little run. It's still hanging out below the 50, and so anytime that happens, we can expect a bump into the 50 with a pullback into the moving averages, perhaps. Since we did jump back above the 20-day moving average, if we violate that low, I would go ahead and just close this swing trade out on a temporary basis, or if it drops 17, just take our profits and be done with it. So, okay, let's see. That closes. Well, that covers what I needed to cover today. I hope you, hope everybody can dial in on those potential candidates for the week. And with that, I bid everybody a good afternoon and have a wonderful rest of the week. For premium members, there will be no training on Wednesday because I'm going to the oral surgeon on Wednesday to see if he can fix up my teeth and my mouth and all that kind of stuff. And so I feel like I'm talking with a dead chin and a dead tongue, like I've been Novocaine. But hopefully I sound okay. So anyway, hey, good evening, everybody. God bless. We'll be chatting with you later. Bye-bye.